I can just imagine Nintendo's board of directors sitting around a large desk, deep in discussion over what their next console should be called. And out of all the possible names they could have chosen, they went with Wii U. It almost sounds like an offensive retort. You don't like it? Well, Wii U. That being said, the Wii U is fascinating to me. A strange hybrid of home console and handheld gaming, and it was ahead of its time. It's also Nintendo's most beautiful failure. And as we explore what it's like to game on the Wii U in the current world, I'd like to explain why.
It would be in your best interest to hit the subscribe button.
So, I took to the internet to find out why the Wii U didn't sell as well as Nintendo had hoped. It really came down to two things, the first being the Gamepad. As remarkable as it was, Nintendo stumbled on this like a drunk gorilla on a traffic cone. Everyone, including me, thought this Gamepad was merely an attachment for the original Wii console. The second thing that hurt sales for the Wii U was the poor support the console had for online gaming. Given the Wii U was released in 2012, there was already a large and rapidly growing online player base, especially after the mind-blowing success of games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The Wii U is a prime example of the power of good marketing and equally so, the power of bad marketing. And it honestly breaks my heart knowing the Wii U could have been a roaring success. So, with all of that being said, could this failure actually be incredible today? Well, if you stick around, there's a really good lesson to learn here. The wife and I took our place once again on the couch while the current gen consoles were put somewhere safe, out of sight. Just like the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I haven't played one of these in a long time. A long time. Once I had all 15,000 cables and accessories connected, we were ready to go. Now, I paid $70 for my Wii U about 2 years ago, and all of the games and accessories you see here I bought since then. To be honest, I don't remember what I paid for those, but I know I'm a cheap bastard, and I likely got them for a good price. These days, Wii U consoles bundled with games are listed in my area for $150 to $250 Australian. They're not as common as the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, nor are they anywhere as cheap. Nintendo consoles and games holding their value will probably become a topic later on in this video. As my measly Wii U game collection is quite small, I decided to supplement it with some original Wii games. One awesome feature of the Wii U is its ability to play most of the original Wii library. Not only that, but another benefit is that you get to experience these games with better visual fidelity, as the original Wii doesn't support HDMI. With that being said, a couple of the games we played looked pretty good. Sure, they had the jagged, pixelated edges and dated textures, but a lot of them had this incredible charm that isn't as present in modern games. In fact, I go as far as saying that Nintendo games in general are the very definition of charming. Unfortunately, while you can play Wii games on the Gamepad, you still need to use the Wii Remote. Furthermore, the racing games that we played only supported Wii Remote motion steering, and this was honestly hit and miss. There were a couple of games that did this really well though, and as someone who personally doesn't like the idea of my steering wheel floating in the air, I found myself having quite a lot of fun. In fact, there were a lot of original Wii games that still held up today. We played Okami for the first time and wow, what a truly beautiful game that is. Of course, it would be immoral, unethical, and straight up illegal for us to not play at least one round of Wii bowling. This is one game that proves that keeping things simple is sometimes the best thing to do when it comes to game design. Obviously, none of the original Wii games needed any sort of update, so we were playing them straight away. Every Wii U game I put in, however, did need an update, although not a single one went for longer than 6 minutes or so. Very nice. The graphical leap between the Wii and the Wii U is very obvious here, and despite the Nintendo Switch being significantly more powerful, the way the graphics look were actually pretty darn fantastic. And I can't deny the fact, Nintendo really do know how to make great games. Super Mario Bros., Super Smash Bros., Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze were honestly brilliant to play. I love the unrealistic nature of the graphics and the character design in those games because I think it inadvertently tells me and anyone playing them that fun is going to be the focus here. And boy, it certainly is.
That's awesome.
One misconception that I had about the console was every Wii U game could be played on the Gamepad only. It turns out that this is not the case. For example, Mass Effect 3 uses the Gamepad as a map you can look at anytime without interrupting the action, whereas Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze can be played on the TV or the Gamepad. As for the overall game selection for the Nintendo Wii U, you won't find any Gran Turismo style racing simulators or a single Grand Theft Auto game. In fact, it's clear that Nintendo are fully aware a majority of their player base are on the younger side. But that doesn't take away from the fact that their exclusive maintains such a strong independent identity overall that playing any of their systems feels like a welcome break from what you'd usually experience on the PlayStation or the Xbox. Unfortunately, some Nintendo Wii U games that are considered must-haves for the console are starting to climb up in price and are reaching a point where it hurts my wallet dearly to buy them. And you've probably been wondering why I haven't asked the question, why buy a Wii U when you could just get a Nintendo Switch? It's a very fair question and I'll do my best to answer it for you. A majority of the Nintendo Switch's most successful games are enhanced ports of the Wii U library. This means the original version of these games can be bought for a little or a lot cheaper than their Switch counterparts, as you can see here. And if you don't have a computer powerful enough to emulate Wii or Wii U games, then having a Wii U hooked up to your television might not be a bad idea. And of course, I know there is a great potential with this console when it comes to modding, which is something I have not done myself, but I promise you guys, I'll do videos on it. But what was the lesson I mentioned earlier? Well, it's a simple lesson and it's a great one. The Nintendo Wii U is honestly a fascinating and beautiful console that, at least in Nintendo's eyes, failed. But if I could tell you one thing about the Wii U, something that was a hard lesson for me, failure is not opposed to success. It's a step, it's data. Failing in life is not the end. It's simply a lesson. If you keep pushing forward, then you'll be surprised with what you can accomplish. Now the question is, what console should we look at next? Thanks guys, take care.